welcome. My name is Sophie Naue and I'm working as a project coordinator for UNITAC, the United Nations Innovation Technology Accelerator for Cities, based here in Hamburg at the Hafen City University. In our lecture today, we are going to talk about how to use AI for better city planning, focusing on one specific use case for AI. One pilot project we developed on behalf of UNITAC, where we use AI to map informal settlements. Before we start, I would like to give you a short overview of our lecture. Beginning with the project introduction, I will provide you with some background information on informal settlements in eThekwini. I will talk about the challenge of mapping informal settlements, and then we dive directly into our use case, the BEAM tool. We look at objectives of using AI, the tool environment, what the tool does, and what were our training challenges. Then we focus on the outcomes and achievements, especially on the impact on people and communities. And then we are going to end with a section where we talk about knowledge and skills transfer. We developed this project for the city of eThekwini in South Africa with the Human Settlement Department as our partner. And we had the objective to develop an innovative and scalable approach to assist the city of eThekwini to improve its data accessibility and automate the land mapping process, particularly focusing on informal settlements or how to better understand the dynamics in informal settlements. So the main idea of this joint UNITAC project was to develop a tool for city planners that uses machine learning to radically accelerate the detection and spatial recognition of informal settlements and building structures on aerial imaging. To provide you with some background information on informal settlements, it's important to know that the city of eThekwini has the largest number of informal settlements in the whole country. That means that over 25% of its population is living in informal settlements. To address this issue and to strengthen community resilience, the city has set up an ambitious informal upgrading program. But in order to develop a pipeline of upgrading and basic service delivery projects, it's essential that the city has access to evidence-based information to support the challenge faced in informal areas. That requires up-to-date information, particularly on the number and location of informal settlements. Mapping and monitoring the growth of informal settlements is a time-consuming process, and it often involves manual digitalization of aerial imagery and on-the-ground surveys. So the local government has to face various data challenges with regard to informal settlements, as for example the lack of standards for data management, outdated data, or a lack of capacity to generate, collect and analyze data. Currently data is collected, or for informal settlements in eThekwini, is collected by 15 on-the-ground land monitors. But those land monitors cannot keep track of the fast changes through the manual marking of building structures on aerial images. That leads actually to outdated data on informal settlements. And those outdated records makes it difficult to plan upgrading interventions in an effective way and to respond to residents' needs. To support eThekwini's effort to improve its data accessibility on informal settlements and to assist the city in automating their building mapping processes, the UNITAC team developed a tool called BEAM, the Building and Establishment Automated Mapper. And as I said before, BEAM is a tool that uses machine learning, especially deep learning, to radically accelerate the spatial recognition of informal settlements and structures based on aerial imagery. There are certain objectives for using AI. While using AI, the BEAM tool accelerates the detection of informal settlements on aerial images. So the tool allows the city to keep track of density changes, area build-up, and it equips the city with up-to-date records of the location and the extent of informal settlements. So with this information, the eThekwini municipality is able to better target the upgrading intervention and to improve basic service delivery. BEAM was developed as an easy-to-use tool that allows the city or the user to quickly detect and visualize urban footprints in a specific area by simply uploading aerial images of certain location. Actually, through 4 simple steps, BEAM provides prediction of buildings that are in an image. So the first step is that you select an input folder. On the second step, you select the model, and in a third step, you select the output folder, and then you run the building detection. So what the tool does looks actually quite simple. Technically speaking, it's trained to identify and to mark pixels on an aerial image that the model considers as part of a building. It detects the shape of buildings, actually the urban footprints, and it provides the city with up-to-date records, a kind of base map. So the desired output of the tool are GIS layers where informal structures are marked. To get to develop this model, we had to face some training challenges. The model needs to be trained in order to learn what's a building, which elements to pick up, because AI has the capacity of iteration. So the model learns by repetition. That's why it's called deep learning. Today the tool has an accuracy of 94% because it was trained, but for example in the beginning the accuracy on the edges of some buildings was sometimes lower. The model sometimes marked overlapping structures as one. Last buses, for example, got picked up as buildings, and parts of building in the shade of trees sometimes doesn't get picked up. Focusing on the outcome and achievements, the BEAM tool actually allows to automate and to accelerate mapping processes. It makes workflows more efficient. Using the tool, the city is able to map all informal settlements within 72 hours. That means one image in 70 to 90 seconds, a work that otherwise would have taken months and as well a huge project team. The tool has impact on people and communities, because with up-to-date records of the location and the extent of informal settlements, as well as the awareness of changes in the built-up area or density, the city of eThekwini is able to better target their upgrading and basic urban service delivery interventions. A key object of the collaboration with the city was to utilize this information, or the tool output, for planning, to achieve more efficient evidence-based planning processes by understanding the dynamics in informal settlements. And the BEAM tool may be useful for tracking further or different challenges in the future related to informal settlements, as for example access to public space or climate adaptation for the urban poor. An important part of the project is related to knowledge exchange and skills transfer. The tool was developed or co-designed with our project partners from the Human Settlement Department to correspond to their needs. And in addition to the tool development, UNITAG handed over the tool to the city to ensure direct access by the municipality. We provided a manual, a step-by-step guidance on how to install and use the tool, and conducted several tech sessions for knowledge and skills transfer required for the effective use and integration of the tool into their existing work streams. And currently BEAM is being tested by the eThekwini GIS Corporate, who provide feedback and recommendation for improvement. To enable knowledge exchange, an advisory group brings together project partners, city representatives and NGOs and other stakeholders to seek feedback from experts. To this end, the advisory group intends to engage actively on project learnings, reflect on potentials and build awareness about possible risks on AI. By integrating the perspective of local stakeholders, especially representatives of civil society groups, such as informal area dwellers or other human rights groups, a people-centered approach will be followed. And as well, this committee also serves as a starting point for upscaling the tool to other South African cities. Coming to an end, I would like to conclude and point out that urban technologies and new tech solutions like BEAM are important for development. AI has the potential to automate and accelerate mapping processes. But we need to ensure knowledge and skills transfer to local partners. We need to ensure the involvement of civil society in data governance, because data makes certain stories visible. Mapping a community makes it visible to public authorities, and doing so can have enormous benefits for planning. But however, such data collection must respect the privacy of residents and align with standards on data protection. And last but not least, we have to ensure that all developed tools and technologies stick to the United Human Rights Guidelines. Thank you very much for participating in the lecture. For more information about the project and the BEAM tool, please have a look at our project story at unitag.un.org. And if you are interested to learn more about AI and cities, I would like to recommend you the AI and Cities report, published by UN Habitat and Miller.